California and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That I left a lot of that out, so I've rewritten a bunch of that. So I'm gonna add that in.
Because we have your old coffee,
Yeah,
and we have it. I think it's packed away though.
but
I know we have it.
I hope that when Luann comes, we can get it redone and redo the whole thing.
Oh, good.
Are we ready?
Because, you know, during the Depression, when we all had to go to California to, you know, keep from starving to death, well, this is some of the things that we left out.
Yeah. Well, and if you have photos, I mean, I can help you make it into like those photo books we give you each year. You can put text and stuff into those, and then put photos, and they're really not very expensive.
No?
So, and then that would be like a hardy book too.
Yeah.
Might
Well,
be
I'm
nice.
still writing it longhand, so
Well, maybe I can help you get it translated over.
first time you come, well,
All right.
I'm gonna try to get it finished because this is the real early days whenever I was, you know, elementary school and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's awesome.
We're almost done.
Okay,
All right, go ahead, River.
are we ready to go?
So our last question was profession. What was your profession?
Well, my profession was, after I got out of the service the last time, I decided it was time that my captain that I was served under during the Korean War, he wanted me to go to college, and so one day after working all day out in the hot sun, you know, in the middle of the summer, sweaty and hot, oh, it was hot. Granddaddy come home and says, Mama, we're going to quit this stuff and we're going to go to college and get an education.
How old were you?
I was, well, I've been out of high school 9 years.
Yeah, like 20. But you got out at like 16 or something, right? 17?
Yeah, I see. We went in 52, so I was 27
That's
when
awesome.
I decided to go.
Did that happen a lot with soldiers after the war?
Well,
Yeah.
quite a few of them, most of them had college, had some college,
Yeah.
but I didn't have any. In fact, I didn't even get through high school.
Right.
So I had 1 year of high school courses when I went to college. See, I had to take English and history and all that kind of stuff.
But they gave you a diploma though before you went, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then it took me 5 years, of course, with a year of high school stuff, but that they decided that whenever I went and enrolled, they said, what do you want to be? And I told them, they said, you can't be an engineer. Says, we're not even sure you can go to college. I said, well, I guess I'll have to go home. They said, no, wait a minute, we'll let you try. So I was on probation, I think, all during college.
No, you were.
So you convinced them.
But I made it.
So you got your degree in engineering.
Got my degree in engineering, and then after I had worked for an aircraft company for 5 years, I went with NASA, and I spent 26 years with NASA. And then I got my professional engineering license from the state of Texas while I was working for NASA. And there's very few professional engineers in the state of Texas, so that's kind of that. Now then, it takes 2 days of testing to even
Get that.
qualify.
When you worked at NASA, what did you do?
Well, I worked for the astronaut. Yeah, I built trainers for the astronauts. So,
We've
My
talked.
dad told me about that.
yeah, okay.
And what about Mama?
She worked for NASA too.
Yeah, I worked for that. For
She
years.
worked for
years
NASA.
and years.
She worked in
Secretary.
archives
Yeah,
for the government in Fort Worth.
Yeah,
yeah, I did.
she was working for the government when we worked, when we lived in Fort Worth.
But she knows all sorts of classified stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Boxes of stuff on machine gun caliber.
But
Yeah.
you should have, Kim, you should have seen when we went to Fort Worth, honey. We looked for a place to rent and we couldn't find one, so we just decided they'd loan us enough money, we'd just buy a house. Well, you should have seen our furniture. It was handmade. Oh, it was pitiful. So Mama wouldn't let them deliver it till after dark. Trade the day.
And put it in the
See it.
garage, back it up and take it through the garage. It was awful. Oh, it was so bad.
We had army cots that we had cut down and welded back together to make beds out of. Oh,
Wasn't for Bill.
it was pitiful.
Where'd you find it? All the furniture.
Oh, just probably the junkyard. Oh,
These were
goodness.
little iron cot things, you know,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
building and move in. And so we had it cut down to fit him. And then go in the house and so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now you'd be very hipster if you did that, right? In Austin, that would be totally acceptable.
That's right.
We got off of your.
We have 9 more questions to go.
Oh goodness.
Okay.
Okay.
Where did you meet your SPO?
Your spouse?
Yes,
Okay.
Where did y'all meet?
School.
3rd grade.
No, I bet you down there at your dad's garden.
Yeah, but we were in 2nd grade.
Yeah, when she was in the 2nd grade, her dad had a garden down there close to my house, and I saw this young lady sitting out there under a tree in the shade. I rode the horse up there, and I said, I'm Mercy. I said, well.
But she was flirting just like that.
So she was about, well, what, you in the 1st grade?
No, I'm in 3rd grade.
3rd.
I don't know why. I'm in 7. The friend in the park said,
See, she
how
was,
can you be 7 and in 3rd grade?
she was about your age when I met her.
Yeah.
See, you may meet your husband someday. How about that?
Oh, no,
Brought
no,
your
no,
flowers.
no, 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 no.
you, baby.
Wouldn't that be something?
Ooh, the next one's a good one. Are we done here? So can we move on to the next question?
Okay.
Okay, 21. Oh, I love this one. What do you love about him or her?
Right now?
That's kind of a loaded question. She loves my cooking, I'll say it.
I knew I love his cooking.
That's right.
What about you?
You know what her brother told me? He said, you've got that hamburger left over, says you take it home to my sister, you're starving her to death, you quit cooking.
Well, Papa Lou, you do most of the cooking, right?
Yeah.
I do all the cooking.
You do all the cooking.
He loves
How did that happen again? I think there's a story to that, right?
Can we look at the video?
Hold on, I want to hear this story real fast.
Oh
He got hungry.
Did he complain about your cooking?
No,
And then you were like, no more for me, right?
well, what happened was, of course, you know, we lived on the farm, you know, and of course, a lot of times we'd have to hire people to help us, you know, with different things and bale hay and stuff like that. And during that time, you always fed them, you know, at lunch and stuff. And so my mother didn't have any girls to help her, so she said, one of you boys is gonna have to learn to be a girl. So Granddaddy was picked. So,
Lucky for all of us, though.
so,
You were picked to learn how
so my mother just decided she'd teach me how to cook. And so she did. And she didn't cook with a recipe. She cooked with just, I don't know,
A gut,
whatever you call it.
a little this and a
Just
little that.
cooked whatever we had to eat, that's what we cooked. And so that's what Granddaddy learned, that's the way Granddaddy learned to cook.
So, Mama loves your cooking, but what else does she love? Back to our question.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
End the story.
Well, he puts up with me.
Aw.
That's a bunch.
What about when you first met him?
When I first met him
Mm-hmm.
in 2nd grade.
Sure. Or when you knew you wanted to marry him.
Oh my.
Probably the day we got married.
Yeah. It's about.
We were in school, you know, and
Yeah.
she was sitting in front of me, and she said, turn around, says, you know, says, I've got to go leave town next week, says, when school's out, says, I've got to go to my parents. She was gonna go to her parents for the summer, and I said, well, that's too long, I don't want you to go that long. She says, well, I don't have any choice, I'm gonna have to go. I said, why don't we just go get married? And she says, okay.
And we did.
That same day?
We got up and the teacher says, what are you two doing, standing up? I says, we're gonna go get married. She says, sit down and shut up. Says, so we said, well, we'll see you next year, bye. So we walked out.
Went to Oklahoma City and got jobs to put us through school, because we were just juniors.
Right.
And so we went our senior year, we made enough money.
We made enough money in the summertime.
to-
Granddaddy had to work 2 shifts in the packing house. A lot of times, sometimes, and Mama, she stuffed weenies.
Yeah.
That was her job. And I worked in the sliced bacon department. We'd taken those big old slabs of bacon and we'd square it up and then run it through the machine and slice it all up.
Wow.
Well, what about our question?
Yeah. Get off track.
Way to get us back on track.
Yeah.
What about Granddaddy? What
And
did
the
you love
story.
about Mama? Or Papa Lou? What did you love about Mama?
What did I?
What did you love about Mama?
You know, I think about that a
Oh,
lot.
I could say she's such a good cook.
We'd all know you'd be lying though.
I don't know. It's because I think we love the same things. See, we used to I used to go quartering once in a while on my horse, and she had a horse, and we'd go riding, you know, and we'd get up close and hold her hands like this, and she'd slap me, you know.
Good for her. That's what you should do, River.
Say, she'd say,
To
quit
who,
that.
Anyone that wants to hold your
She'd
hand.
say, quit that, you silly boy.
I'm sure you guys can teach me how. Okay.
All right, River.
Are we
Go
done
ahead.
with this question?
Sure.
Okay. Question number 22. 28. Yay, there's no more. Tell me about your wedding.
We just kind of did, just a little bit. It's pretty brief.
Yeah.
Did you have witnesses?
About our wedding?
Uh-huh.
Oh my honey. We're still trying to figure that out. Well, Granddaddy didn't have any money. And Mama had $10
It
bill,
means Papa
$10. And so I said, if you loan me that, we'll get married. So she loaned me $10 and we went and got us some license. And my mother had to go and sign the papers for me because I was too young. And she was too. And my baby brother stood in the back of the car with his bottle in his pocket. And he was 5 years old.
I think that's a little too old for a baby.
So we
bottle.
got married.
It was.
And then Granddaddy had to go to work in a hurry. All of a sudden I had a wife. So I got a job right quick and I went to work.
Well, that kind
So
of
I've been working ever since.
answers our question 17. What was your first job?
What was my first job? Well, I covered, my first job was carrying a tile up on top, roofing a house.
Well, at least it's like, take the front away. What was your job? Take the first job. Take the first word away. What was
Yes.
your job? There.
That's right. So how much was a marriage license?
$3.
$3, yeah.
$3, $4.
I think it's still only like $12, something like that, so.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah.
That's the cheap part.
Yeah, that's the only cheap part.
So the first night we went to eat, we went to this restaurant, little old town on
Winterwood.
little old town, went to this restaurant, and I didn't know, straight up, I'm sick on, you know. Anyway, so we went in there to eat, and I went up there and got up on, you know, they had stools. So I went up and sat on the stool. Mama said, that's not gonna work. Says, we're gonna sit at this table. So Granddaddy had to get off the stool and go over there. Anyway, we're still working on that $10. So we ate supper. I don't even know what we had. And I forgot to pay the preacher.
Oh.
I didn't have any money anyway, I guess. But we didn't pay the preacher that married us. Anyway, I've been worried about that ever since. Anyway, so then we went home the next day and went by and tell her mother and daddy, and her sister says, oh, she just crying her eyes out, and she says,
No, my mother was crying.
your sister was too, wanting them to shoot me.
Yeah.
We wanted them to shoot you.
Yeah, she said, shoot him, kill him. Get the shotgun.
It's amazing.
I was sitting in the car. I thought, man, I don't know what they're going to shoot her. And finally, her grandmother says, y'all just quiet down and says, hey, it's going to be all right. So
What?
they finally
And
settled down.
73, almost 73 years later, it
Seems like it's
still-
going okay still, yeah.
I think it's going to work.
Okay, next question.
Yep.
What was mom/dad like growing up?
Oh, so what was Granddaddy like growing up?
What was one?
Granddaddy like growing up.
Oh.
That's okay. Someone will get it. What was Bill like?
Bill.
Bill. What was Bill like when he was a baby?
Oh, Bill?
Yeah.
Oh, he was
He was a good little boy.
Yeah, he was a good little boy. Only thing, he'd put everything he could get a hold of in his mouth. And one day he put a piece of grass in his mouth and he got choked.
Ooh.
And Mama we rushed out and got in the car and she was driving and I held when your granddaddy up with his hind legs like this, shaking him, trying to get that grass out of his mouth. And just about the time we got into the hospital, he threw up.
Oh.
Well,
Hi, Riley.
there.
Hi, Riley.
Well,
Can
hi.
I get a hug?
Hi, River.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, River.
What things did you like to do as a family? Like when?
We like to go camping. We would go on vacation. We went to New Orleans one time. We went down in the mountains and fishing one time. We was in a,
And you still go fishing, even now.
yeah, and we caught a big old catfish and we put him out in a pond. It was raining down in front of the cabin and we put him out there in the water. And we looked out there and one of them big old hogs had come and grabbed that big old fish and he was running off down through the woods and he chased me. We got away with my fish and we didn't get any fish.
Oh.
I know, that's what I thought.
Okay. What about you? Is there anything you like to do?
Anything you like to do with Bill when he was little?
Yeah, like a little boy.
Oh, when he was a little boy.
Like, what did you guys, do you remember anything? Did he like, obviously he didn't cook with you or anything, but like,
Right.
did he play sports?
Big part.
Did he play sports?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. So we watched him go. Wouldn't miss any of them.
Yeah. All right, River, go ahead.
What about 25?
favorite vacation?
Mhm.
We used to go down to,
Beaversville.
no, that, in Texas,
Oh, Corpus.
Corpus Christi.
We used to go down there.
And that
Down there and
was
go
really-
fishing, and we'd stay down there, and we'd stay over in Corpus, and then we'd go down to Mexico once, a couple of times. So we enjoyed going out on Padre Island and stuff.
That's awesome.
Okay,
All right. Next question. 26. Tell me about when I was born.
When you were born. My goodness. That hadn't been too long ago compared with
Have you?
well, we were just thrilled to death that we had a great-granddaughter.
Because you were the first one. Oh, but no, besides Tess and
No.
Hayden.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
she's
that's right.
the same, well,
Oh, and then I guess you've got Luann's kids.
Right.
And Luann's kids? Are those great?
yeah,
there's no
yeah,
great-
all of them. Yeah, she's the fifth one, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have three. Noah and Hayden and all of. We got five that's older than you are, so
Wait,
you're
wait,
number
wait, wait.
6.
You're forgetting about Riley and Gabriella.
They're all after you.
What?
You're number 6.
I am?
Yeah,
I thought I was number 3.
and we have 13.
And you're 6.
You're number 6.
That's a bunch, isn't it?
Okay. Anything else? No? Okay, let's move on to the next question.
Is that the last one?
Mm-mm. There are 2 more. What do you, 27, what do you wish you had known when you were younger?
What do I wish I had known when I was young?
Mm-mm.
Your driver's license?
No, I think you just learn as you go, honey, and I think it's better you don't know what's ahead of you.
Yeah, that's,
Well, I guess we gotta skip that question.
Only thing you do, just trust in the Lord and let Him take care of you. Just remember, He's always in charge of everything.
There is one more question.
And you probably
Okay.
just answered it. But go ahead and ask it.
Okay. 28. What is the most important thing I need to know?
that you need to know.
What's the most important thing she needs to know?
That Jesus Christ loves you and you live according to the Bible.
That's right.
The Bible tells you everything you need to know.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, we're done! Now we can go play with
hug?
You did a good job.
Ah, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Whatever time you want, you don't always get it.
Oh, you did a great job.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
do